Morning, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here. This is video number, oh, I just looked at it, 45, I think. I'm here to talk about cross-stitching. So if you've, like they used to, like they would tell you on the airplane, if you're in the wrong place, you know, this is Flosstube. I remember when I was in like high school, I think at the beginning of the year, they would say, this is English, English, whatever, if you're not supposed to be in this class, check your schedule. So that, because some people would, wander in the wrong place. And matter of fact, I remember when I was in junior high, we had a rotating schedule. So on Monday, we went to these classes, periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on Tuesday, we would start with period 2, and we would do 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 1 or 6, I don't know what. But anyway, it rotated like that. So if you were on the wrong day, you might end up in the wrong class if you didn't know what day of the week it was, which I did once. I walked into the class and there was like nobody familiar in there. The teacher said, "Today's Tuesday. Are you supposed to be in this class?" I was like, "Nope." Anyway, this is Flosstube. So if you're looking for something else, you're in the wrong place. We're here to talk about cross stitch, and there's a cat bugging me right now. So let me reach down here, give a little pat. Okay. Last week, I think I talked about some of the Stitch 9 stuff I was doing, and there's a cat. Oh, there's always a cat scratching where he's not supposed to be. Snug. And okay, since Puck is bugging me, Puck has to say hello. He doesn't want to say hello. You want to say hello to the people? No? Okay. He just wants to bug me. Okay, anyway, so last week I did a little update and everything about what I was working on for the Stitch 9 challenge, and so I did some more work on there. Last week I talked about how my sisters and I had gone to and my mom had gone to a brunch in the morning, and that's why I did my update later in the day. And then that afternoon, I guess I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I had a little bit of a sore throat, and I thought I had just fallen asleep. I don't know, with the cooler air or something. I had had developed a sore throat from the and but then it I felt worse and worse as the day went on, and so I had a little bit of a cold, and I still kind of have it. A little bit of a sore throat, a little bit of a stuffy nose or whatever, but I did actually feel like, I think Sunday and Monday, like a little feverish and everything. So yeah, it was pretty yucky. But being sick, I snug. Anyway, I got to stitch some more, I guess, but I slept a lot, so didn't make as much progress as I might have, I guess, but still pretty decent. So the first thing I worked on was daily walk in the woods, and I've got a little bit of a mess here. Okay, yeah. So I don't know if Saturday night, but Sunday, definitely, I worked on daily walk in the woods, and I'm in this area right here. So I worked on finishing this tree, and I started these 2 little trees here. So I'm close to the edge over here, close to finishing. And so last time I think I was like right around in here somewhere. This tree wasn't quite, I think it was about halfway done. So I finished this tree, and I did this little tree and this little tree, the tree tops, and I think this one is the trunk is it's the trunk and branches. Just a second. Yeah. My cat was getting stuck. Sorry. This one is just backstitched, and then this one there's the branches are backstitched and the trunk is cross stitched. So I have the trunks to do on those two trees. And like I said, I'm close to the edge. Over here, there's like a couple of big, I think one big tree. Yeah, there's a big tree over here, and then the edge of the design is here. So I'm almost to the edge on that side. There's still quite a bit of space to go. And I was thinking about this being on white, that I'll probably end up having to, I'll probably like wash it a little bit, just to get some of the, who knows what's been on it from where I've been working on it. So the next thing I did was this, another one, I guess. I don't know if it was the next or whatever. But anyway, was this piano cat design. And it came as a kit, so it came with the fabric also, with 14 count Ada. And so it's, like I said, it's a lot of gray on gray on gray. I'm still working on the cat. I really made slow progress on it because, it's so confetti heavy. And you really can't tell. It looks exactly like it did before. But really, I did a lot of this area, and I think... Sorry, there's a cat hair in there, of course. Can't get that. Oh, there, okay. I did some, I think, in this area right here. It's a little hard to tell, but... yeah, I did a lot of this area. And I had to make, I want to show you a little piece of, I don't think you can do anything with this, but a piece of the original, chart, and it's so tiny. It's really microscopic. And so I made a working copy so that I could, use a colored pencil on it, because it's so hard to tell, where I am, because like I said, it's very confetti-ish, and it's, 2 or 3 shades of gray. So, but I did spend a lot of time sort of, coloring in of some squares before I even started, because I had not colored in the stitches that I had done last time I worked on it. So I had to go through and sort of find, yeah, I already did this. Yeah, I already did this. And before I could even get started. So so I worked on this quite a bit. And then the next thing I worked on was this, and I put all my Stitch 9 challenge pieces in a decision roulette wheel, but I haven't been spinning it every day, just kind of when I feel like I'm getting a little burned out on working on this thing, so I'm gonna spin it and work on something else. But on this one, I spun the wheel, and like Daily Walk in the Woods came up again. I was like, oh, no, or I think, yeah, and just stuff I already worked on. But so I spun it more, a couple times till something I wanted came up. So anyway, this wolf design is what came up next, and as you can see, it's it's like Piano Cat. It's gray on gray on gray, kind of lots of different shades of gray. And I'm up here where the needle is. I don't have a needle minder on this, but I did like about 3 or 4 rows here of this gray right here, just over and over again. And part of the problem is, again, this is a chart that I fortunately I had not marked on it, but it's and I don't have the original here with me, but it's very small, and it's colored. It's like, it has, like, for instance, red double lines and black double lines, and it's basically it's just red and black, but like there's black eights and red eights, for the symbols, and black stars and red stars, and like that, so, and like black C's and red C's as the, like, I'll show you a little bit of a chart right here. You can't really do anything with that, I don't think, but and some of them I had, because I had not made a working copy, I had not marked anything in the original chart, and so I spent a lot of time working on. I spent, well, I think yesterday, or during the day, yeah, I don't think I stitched at all. I spent most of the time just working on what have I already done on the chart, so I could find the parts that I had, what color and what areas I had not done, and though it seems a little bit obvious, when you look at the chart, like when you look at the finished piece, and think, oh yeah, I already did that section. Well, when you look at the chart, then you're like, wait, what is it? Everything in that color, or just part of that color, or I don't know what. So I'm happy to look at it and sit and sort of, and also like look at, like, okay, that's empty. I haven't done a stitch there, so that must be this color, and and I think, like yesterday I was watching Lawrence of Arabia and working on this chart on filling in the parts that I had done, and trying to say, well, to tell which ones I'd done, which ones I hadn't done, and also trying to locate, like here, excuse me, I did some white and gray right here, that, this gray is different from, I think, every other gray. And, anyway, I was trying to tell, is this white? Is it, there's a color, there's a very light parchment, and, and I think it might be white, because it's the only white in the chart, I think. But, I'm going to have to sort of do it by process of elimination, as to what I've done. It's somewhere in here. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong place. Somewhere in here, but I can't tell because it's like I said, it's white and very light parchment, and, so I'm going to have to look at a little closer at the chart. But this is the picture of what it's supposed to look like. So, like, like I said, it's grays and blacks and whites, and so I've done, just little bits here and there. And this is a really old project. Oh gosh, I don't even know when I started it. The copyright on this is 1988. So, and I didn't even start stitching until till late 88. So this was, I think I started on this stitch probably in 1990 or 91 or something like that. And I worked on it for, in May, for I did a Whip Mania instead of Stitch Mania, so I worked on it in May, but I worked on it just like 2 days worth of stitching, and it was really hard because of the chart. It's a handwritten chart also, so the symbols are all, it's all handwritten stuff, and it's kind of hard to tell what you're looking at. And there's not very imaginative symbols because of that. It's, like I said, a red parallel lines and black parallel lines, a red C and a black C, and a red slash and a black slash. So it's takes a lot a lot more brain work for just looking at the chart, than stitching. The stitching is, pretty easy. There's a cat sleeping on my stuff right here. I don't know if you can hear that. It's Snug's little ham hock. So, the other thing I had was this little scissors case that I'm working on. And I had talked about last time how I had started to do it's a lot of purples, purple, violet, and I don't know, like that. And it calls for 2 threads of DMC and 2 threads of Krynic, either purple for the purple parts, and there's green for the leaves and stuff up here. So, like I said, it's 2 threads of DMC and 2 threads of Krynic. And I tried to, last week I talked about when I was at Joann's, I picked up a metallic green they had there that's actually kind of maybe darker than the chartreuse that the pattern calls for, and a variegated purple that I'd hoped would, that those threads would work in place of the Krynic, because I just happened to be there and there. But in using them, I wasn't real happy with the results, because the purple, the variegation showed up there, but didn't show up down here so much. So I went ahead and ordered the Krynic and got it in, and I worked a little more on this chart yesterday. So I used the Krynic as it was called for in this lighter purple here, and I went through and did some. You can see right in here and a little bit down here. I just used 1 thread of Krynic and went through and added it a little bit here and there. And I think I'm going to put some more in down here, because I actually accidentally just now pulled it out. I don't know if you can see it. I pulled it out a little bit there when I was trying to get some of the cat hair off, and I accidentally pulled that thread loose. So I might either re-sew that 1 thread or sew some more in there. I don't know. But anyway, so if you can see this, I don't know. I'll put, like I said, a little bit of, there's a little sparkle there. You can kind of see it. And I did some more up here, and it's really hard because it's on black fabric, and everybody knows about working on black. It's really hard. Anyway, so I have some more to do. All these things, and I seem to be missing a color of DMC 552. It's it's like a dark violet or whatever, and I thought I had pulled it already, and I don't know if I did or not. And I might just I have to go to Hobby Lobby anyway. I have to get another thread of a skein, excuse me, of 704 for Daily Walk in the Woods. I'm down to like my last piece of the skein, and I don't know how often 704 is used in that thing, but it's green and it's used pretty often. So I figure and I'm running out anyway. So I think I have another bobbin of it somewhere. I don't know, but so I'm gonna look right now, just when I finish this video, look for the missing bobbin of 552 and see if I have another one of 704. I kind of think I do, because I think the one I was using, I think is from a kit. How they have equivalent DMC numbers or whatever, but it's like not the same quality, I think, as the ones I have, the other ones I have. So I think it might have been a kit thread that was called 704. I think I have another one But if I don't, I'll just go to Hobby Lobby and, get some more. It's a good excuse to go there. I don't know. But anyway, so this is my progress on my needle case thing. So, I have some more. I have a lot to do on this one. I think I'm going to work on it a lot now, just because so I can get it done. Like I said, it's not very much stitching. Excuse me. It's not very much stitching, but it's just a pain in the butt because it's a lot of using Kryneck a lot, and it has some back stitching that's also with Kryneck and all that. So and then the hard part really begins. The stitching is easy comparatively. It's going to be the finishing that's hard, because to finish it like this, which I want to do, is just a lot of skills that I'm not great at. A lot of sewing, a lot of tacking, a lot of this and thatting, and I'm gonna have to really have to concentrate to get that done right. But anyway, so that's pretty much, I still have, more Stitch 9 projects to work on. And there are only, I think, I want to say, is it 2? Let me think. A little ice skating penguin I showed you last time. I haven't done any more work on that since last week. Daily Walk in the Woods, the Piano Cat, the wolf, the scissors case, the other penguin I have, the Santa's house. What are the other 2? Ice skating penguin, Daily Walk in the Woods, Piano Cat, Gray Wolf, Scissors Case, Santa's house, the other penguin. What are the other 2? Oh, Eeyore, and there's another one. Anyway, I obviously haven't, I haven't worked on this since last week. I haven't worked on the Tiny Modernist Santa's house. That's on my list, and I have not worked on that. And at all this time around. And the other penguin, the winter penguin Christmas thing. His little scarf says Merry Christmas on it, so I haven't worked on him. And I haven't worked on Eeyore since last week, and I can't remember what the last one is. Well, now I have to think about it. Hold on one second. Okay, I remember now. It's this sachet thing that I'm working on for my brother-in-law's mother. Here's a better picture of it. Excuse me. Let me put this here than I had last time, and that's this little sachet thing right here. I haven't started it yet, so it's when I do get to it, it'll be a new start. And I think I had talked about before how I had dyed some fabric with berries, and this is a piece of it that I cut for the sachet thing. It's 22 count. It's very tiny, even weave, and so I don't know if I'm gonna do, because I cut the fabric specifically for that, so I don't know if I cut it big enough to do 2/2. I kind of don't think so. So I might be doing 2/1, um, or something like that to make it, because of course the pattern is like for 14 count Ada or something like that. So this is quite a bit smaller, but if you do 2/2, it ends up being really big. It ends up being like the equivalent of 11 count or something. So it ends up kind of big. So and this is the trouble I ran into trying to do this, use this fabric for another project was, well, if I do it, 1/2/1 or one or whatever, it's going to be very tiny. But if I do it over two, it's going to be very big and bigger than it would be if I did it on 14 count or whatever. Um, so so it might be over one to make it fit. But anyway, so yeah, so this is the berry dyed fabric. So this was the ninth project that I couldn't remember, because it's a new start. I haven't worked on it at all. Um, but yeah, so that's what I was forgetting. The other ones, ooh, sorry. The other ones were yeah, the tiny modernist and the other penguin, which is, sorry about the glare, but I don't feel like taking it out. This Merry Christmas little penguin here. And I have, like I said, I just made the tiniest starts on his little scarf. So that's still waiting in the wings. I do want to make some significant progress on some of these other pieces, but I want to do more on the one from my brother-in-law's mother, because even though it's not very big, it's going to take, once I get the stitching done, it's like the scissors case. It's going to take some, because it's not a ready-made sachet thing like excuse me. the instructions, I guess, assume that you buy this ready-made sachet tote and you just do the stitching on it and then stuff it with whatever the sachet stuff, and so since I don't have the original sachet tote thing. I just have this piece of fabric, so I have to figure out, have to find some backing fabric and somehow make it into a tote thing. And I have some some lace that I bought to put on the top to finish it with, when I do get around to finishing it. And but I'm gonna have to think a bit to figure out how to make it into a sachet tote. And again, it's going to require some sewing skills, finishing skills, some whatever that I don't really have readily, like some people do. Some people can just whip it out. I'm no Vanna Pfeiffer. I can't do it. So it's going to take a lot of thinking on my part to figure out how to do it as a excuse me, I just bit my lip, as a sachet tote. But I'm still thinking about it. I'm still cogitating on how I can do that. So once I figure that out, it should be quick, because it's very small, and my stuffing skills are a lot better because I made those three little pillows this Christmas for my sisters and my cousin, and once I figured it out, it really wasn't that hard. I kind of wish I had not stuffed them quite as much, or had made the margins bigger on those, but I've learned a little bit so since then. So and really, I just have the sachet tote right now that I'm thinking of as a stuffed project, and I have to make room in there for the sachet stuff, whatever. So uh, that'll be part of it. Anyway, so I don't have any haul. I didn't buy anything this past week, um, and my plans for the future are just to keep working on the Stitch 9 things, and um, I I don't know if I'll do. I have some things in mind to do new starts over the course of this year, and I might, um, especially if I finish these projects from the Stitch 9 thing. I have in mind a couple of things I might do as new starts, just for the fun of it. Um, from some stuff from the haul I had last week, some stuff that's been sitting around in my stash for a while that I've been thinking about. Like I have a couple of la di da patterns that I've been thinking about. I haven't done them. I've had them for a while and I haven't done them just because I was doing other things and I kept putting them aside and putting them aside, and so I kind of want to start them. But it just kind of depends on, I guess, on the progress that I make on other things. I want to finish this. I don't know where I put it now. This one, the scissors case. The Because I want to get it done, because this is for Stitch Shenanigans. This is my exchange gift. So I need to do that. I need to concentrate on finishing that sooner rather than later. So, anyway, so I'm going in about an hour or so to go to the movies with my sisters. Um, we're gonna go see not Split, Glass. I think that's, yeah, Glass. It's the third movie in this M. Night Shyamalan. Um, is that how you say his name? I don't know. I always call him Shamalama Ding Dong. I read that somewhere, or saw somewhere somebody called him that. But so I'm gonna go see that. Even though I have not seen my sister was saying, that you have to see like Unbreakable and Split before you see Glass, because it's a sort of the third one in, the sort of trilogy. And I've seen parts of Unbreakable. I've seen the beginning of it. I've seen the end of it. Actually, the other day it was on TV. I guess because Glass is coming out. They've been showing it a lot. So I tried to watch it, but other things came up or other things happened or whatever, and like I said, I saw like the first 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that, and then I saw the last like 15 or 30 minutes, I guess. But I never saw it. And Split I've never seen. I've seen kind of the beginning of Split, I think, but I haven't seen it at all. So anyway, I'm going into this kind of blind, I guess, but I don't care. um, uh, I'm, yeah, I'm just kind of glad to go. It's a diversion for me. It's not something that I need to see, but so maybe I'll be compelled to go see the other two movies, to rent them or whatever, to go see the other two movies after having seen this third one, if I'm really confused. I don't know. Anyway, I digress a bit. Anyway, so that's it. That's it. That's enough. Sorry about the rambling. Um, so again, I'm Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. I don't know if I said that. I did. I think I said that at the beginning. Um, and again, I want to thank my subscribers, and welcome to any new visitors. Sorry, I'm looking at the cat. The cat is messing with my lamp. He's about to knock it over. Um, but so this is my Flosstube update. Sorry. This is number 40. What did I say? 44? 44, 45, something like that. 40 something. Okay, that's enough. So until next time, I'll see y'all later. There's a cat are fighting, so I have to stop. Bye.